Could you eat a meal this big for a year and lose weight? And might apple cider vinegar be one key tool to help you get there? Let's talk about that today. And I'm going to use this to whip up a super fun kitchen crafty project here that may help you reach your goal and help you to be awesome at the same time. First off, there is a huge amount of hype about apple cider vinegar. There's a lot of reason to be excited about it. Apple cider vinegar may essentially keep you from overeating, okay? That's huge. That is huge. So first, there are lots of claims of health benefits of apple cider vinegar. And you know, some of it might be true, but they're not the reasons I want you to try it. Because I'm going to give you a property of apple cider vinegar that's going to hit bullseye into a key weight loss problem we all have. Bullseye, dead on, and it's something you can test right now. Right now, first, there's lots of claims of like disease prevention and that sort of thing. And one that in the context of weight loss has the most evidence and is really kind of cool and interesting is that it will reduce your insulin resistance. It's a reason to love apple cider vinegar. Insulin resistance is a reason many of us have been fat over all of these years and a reason why the Eat Like a Bear approach is working so well. And apple cider vinegar does chip away at insulin resistance. And so that is a super great thing, but I think it's easy to make way too much of some of these factors. So in research studies, we like to look at the relationship between, X and Y, like back into our 7th grade math with our XY scatter plot. Let's say we have the use of apple cider vinegar here on our x-axis and insulin resistance here on our y-axis. And we collect data and we find, first of all, we find people kind of all over the place in here and draw a line through this and say, wow, look at that. The more apple cider vinegar you have, let's say this is a decline in insulin resistance. Okay, I should have done this differently. But anyway, that basically there is a relationship. The more apple cider vinegar you have, the less insulin resistant you're going to be. Okay, wow, that's great. But in the world of real world applications and research, this effect might not be super strong. Is it cause for you to run out and buy it today? I'd say probably not, because if you're really working on insulin resistance, and all of us should be, what you want to do is find the Eat Like a Bear resources on intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting, it's much more like this. So if instead of apple cider vinegar here, we have intermittent fasting, which is time-restricted eating, and that is not eating all day long, like finding a time in the day when you're going to eat, and then a time in the day when you're not going to eat. That's intermittent fasting. And here you have reduction in insulin resistance. This relationship is much stronger. So the results would be over in here, and the line would be like this, which means the more you do intermittent fasting, let's say, the less insulin resistance you're going to have. The relationship is stronger. It simply has more of an impact. If you want to go right bullseye into reducing your insulin resistance, apple cider vinegar ain't going to be it when you can do something cheap, free, easy, and it's called intermittent fasting. So I direct you to those resources. And so as you're like time restricted eating, you're gonna not eat all day, but I'm gonna be hungry. I'm gonna be so hungry if I do that. This was my number one concern when I was considering adopting a 1 meal a day model, was how will I manage 1 meal a day when I'm absolutely flippin' starving all the time as it is, all the time, just starving, okay? Well, first of all, you train yourself. All that starving, it's because you've been eating all day long, all the time, and you're training yourself that you always eat, okay? So train yourself that you're gonna only eat in a certain amount of time, but also how can you just knock down that hunger? Knock it down immediately, not over time, in the next 15 minutes, and this is your remedy. This is your remedy. I'm gonna show you how I do this. Apple cider vinegar, couple of ounces, okay? That's it. Dilute it or it will burn up your esophagus, okay? And you might want to dilute it even more, but down it goes, bottoms up. Woo! I'm hardcore in this. You might want to dilute it a good bit more. I'm also about to eat. Taking the shot now, before I eat, will bring me to satiation faster with my meal, period. It works so well for me that I'm going to admit on days when I've wanted to eat more and ensure that I could eat more, I have foregone the apple cider vinegar because I did not want to cut my meal short. And so if you're struggling with a meal, or in particular where you're trying to get to the end of eating for the day, cut that eating off so that you can go on and be awesome, right? This is a key tool. You will come to fullness faster if you integrate this into your meal. So what you've just seen me do is take a shot. That is a way to integrate it into any meal because you just take a shot before you eat. You can also put it in your dressing, which is what we're going to do today. But first, we're going to engage in a little crafty project. So I'm about to eat, and in the process of eating, it will effectively sort of continue to clean my palate. But if you just take a shot and go on with your life, you should probably swish water after because the apple cider vinegar hanging there on your teeth, it will ruin your enamel. Okay, so you're gonna swish a little bit, just like you would do if you were having like a lemonade regularly or something like that. Same thing, it kind of works on your enamel. In this case, I'm about to eat. I'm not really worried about it. And I probably won't even, I'll swish with coffee after I eat. Here's my key recommendation before we get on to the fun kitchen crafty stuff is go buy some apple cider vinegar. Check the label that it says with the mother. This is going to be a raw, actually naturally fermented apple cider vinegar. Grab that. This is a few bucks, okay? Have it right before your meal. See if it does not change that situation with your fullness, with your satiation, with your hunger. Do that. It is a very simple test. This tool could change your life, okay? If you don't like apple cider vinegar, don't go out and get it. Don't try it. Don't worry about it, right? You don't have to have this to be successful. But if you can work it in and if it works for you, this is like the cheapest little remedy around. A remedy that's just going to curb that hunger a tiny little bit. And that is all we're talking about. And so, you know, run, don't walk to the store, buy some apple cider vinegar. You can buy like, you know, leading brands. There's all kinds of brands you can find in apple cider vinegar. I would look for the label that says with the mother, okay? But do not overlook your opportunity for kitchen craftiness, for flavor, for excitement, for awesomeness. So the idea is you've tried your little test of apple cider vinegar. You say, wow, Amanda was right. That works like crazy for me. I'm going to keep embracing this apple cider vinegar thing. And I want to be extra awesome at the same time. So how shall I do that? I got you covered. I've got you covered because a secret among herbalists anyway is that apple cider vinegar will take on the flavors and even the medicinal properties of plants. And so you can infuse flavor into the vinegar. That is what we're doing right here. We've got some super simple tools here today. So just a canning jar. I use plastic lids for this. Metal lids tend to corrode against the vinegar, so I get plastic and I save them for these projects. In this vinegar, I'm going to put blueberries, and I'm going to add a flavor of my forest. I live in the Giant Sequoia National Monument, and one of my great joys of life is getting out into the forest and foraging for flavors that grow naturally there and putting them into things like my vinegar. But you may know recently we had a crazy evacuation due to forest fires. And you know, I'm in California, we got all the fires going on here, and we were evacuated in the Windy Fire. It was bad. It was real bad. Our house is okay, but our hiking trails, our entire forest area has been burned. And so it is difficult for me now, with the forest closed in particular, to go up and even forage for anything. And so today I will use a dried plant. This is actually dried spearmint from the forest. See, I have labeled on here, do not use. And that's because I don't want a bunch of people coming through and just taking it for granted and using it. Because this spearmint actually comes from a very special place in the forest that I consider a memorial to one of my friends who is gone. And you can imagine there's a whole story behind this spearmint. And that part of the forest was burned in the Windy Fire. I have a lot of hope that the spearmint is going to grow back. If it doesn't, it strikes me that I have some seed right here in these flower heads. And so I'm definitely not going to use all of my spearmint today, but I'm going to use a little bit. And with the promise that it's all coming back. And if it doesn't, I shall help it. The fragrance of this is so amazing. This is a very special spot. It's interesting. You can find plants growing in different little microclimates with a slightly distinct aroma. And this is a very special spearmint for a lot of reasons. And so I shall put some in the jar. All we're doing is adding our plants to the jar. I'm going to mostly add leaf, but you can definitely, I'm not putting as many mint flowers in here to save the seed for myself, but you could add flowers that are edible. Mint flowers are great in something like this. It's November now. We won't know until the spring about a lot of the giant sequoias. We won't know about things like patches of mint, definitely until maybe the summer. The fires were apocalyptic. If this were fresh, I'd probably have it at least half full, but dried leaves, you know, they're dehydrated. And so there's a lot of leaf in here as it is, a lot of leaf. And I'm gonna put in blueberries. These blueberries will pickle, and you can add the blueberries pickled to salads. It's kind of fun. And then really truly all you do, give it a shake, and it shakes up the mother, which in this case, like a little cloudy stuff in here is the mother. And I leave, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or so of headroom in here. Put the lid on. Okay, it looks really cool because it's like all swirled. I hate to shake it up, but I should, because you know, you want to get it mixed up in there. But I'm gonna stare at it for a little while. I think it looks really super cool. So here's the thing, 2 weeks, you can start using the vinegar. Leave it for a month, leave it for 3 months. Let me show you. This is a mint and berry vinegar that's about a year old. And so we're gonna use that today on our salad. So we shall wait at least a few weeks on this. We could wait a year because we've waited a year on this already. And so we're gonna get this one working for us in today's salad. Today I'm having a coleslaw style salad. I am gonna make a dressing that's kind of reminiscent of tartar sauce because I'm gonna have salmon with this salad. And so kind of want something in the tartar sauce game. So it'll be creamy, it'll have the tang of the vinegar, and it's gonna have some pickled onions in it. So this is it. As always, measure carefully. And so this is the mint vinegar. It very often, if you let it sit for a while, it'll grow a new mother. That's what this is. You're gonna be like, that's funky. Yeah, it's kind of funky. Woo, kind of funky. Okay, look at this. Hey mama, the mother is vinegar starter. You can put this in a juice. It'll turn your juice into vinegar over the course of weeks. I'll often leave it for months, but let's get it in our dressing. Try not to get the mint leaves in there. I should just use a strainer. So typically for a tartar sauce inspired dressing, I go in a dill pickle direction, but today I'm just going with the vinegar and I'm gonna go with some pickled onions. So also from the stockpile, I have onions pickled in apple cider vinegar. Spear some of these babies right out of there. Look at that. Oh, okay. They don't look great, but it is a nice pickly onion. And so how much do you use? However much you want. Brings a nice pickle flavor to the dressing. And tartar sauce really is about that pickle flavor. This is just a super customized version we have going here. That's what makes this fun. You're having a good day, you want to just play around with flavors and textures and all that? This is a great way to do it. Pickled onions, I'm just gonna pop them right into the dressing. I salt my dressing to taste, and then I typically salt the salad when it's done. I want a bit of sweetener in this. This is just stevia. I think that's gonna be really good with the salmon. It's gonna be a coleslaw, and I let someone else chop up the cabbage today. This is one of these giant bags of cabbage. Pretty cheap too. Even in my world, it's giant. This makes like 4 salads for me. Though it's probably supposed to feed the whole potluck. Okay, I'm excited. Need a little bit more on this. I just watch the carbs and the calories of the things I'm adding to the salad. It's a whole framework I teach in the 3-day challenge. So I'm gonna toss half a bell pepper on this salad. Why? I have it. I feel like eating it. It fits the framework. Boom. It is looking up. Now it's really looking up. Just some salmon I cooked a bit ago. The salmon is a little bit salty, so I'm glad I didn't add more salt to the salad because that would be a disaster. But oh my gosh, look at that. It is time to eat. A shout out to our key players, apple cider vinegar, completely leveled up. All super legit. The bonus pickled onions made with some apple cider vinegar as well. You guys do not overlook your opportunity for kitchen craftiness, for adding flavor to your food, for reducing your hunger, possibly fighting insulin resistance a little bit at the same time. I mean, let's take all we can get, but not overlook the key today issue. Apple cider vinegar may essentially keep you from overeating, okay? That's huge. That is huge. Eat less, have lots of fun with kitchen crafty things at the same time. on your good days, when you're learning the framework, when you're dialed in, working it out, finding the things that you like, finding the things that work for you. This could be a super great tool in your arsenal. This is a $5 bottle of apple cider vinegar. You could get a smaller one, even cheaper, to try it out, to see if it works as well for you as it does for me. And if it does, wow, go forth, have fun, be awesome. Find more super awesome projects and strategies right here on the Eat Like a Bear channel.